Eli Police Department employees report subject. Recovered camcorder and minute tape. Date and time occurred December 12, 2002 5:24 p.m. to December 18, 2002 12:24 a.m. Location of occurrence: Superior National Forest, approx. 1 mile northwest Mitchell Lake. 2. Rank, name, assignment, Officer Pat Gundrich, Detective. Date and time reported January 22, 2003 16:30 hours. Date and time typed January 23, 2003 1:55 p.m. Details: on January 22, 2003 at approximately 16:30 hours 2 hikers entered the police station with a camcorder they claimed to have found in the woods northwest of Mitchell Lake. Hikers gave their names as Eric Jordan Jacobson and Lorraine Minerva Jacobson, left contact information, printed below. I thanked them and asked that they not leave town until I had examined the evidence. The couple complied and are currently lodged at a nearby hotel. The camcorder, Canon ZR-40, was heavily weathered and covered in some areas with patches of ice, suggesting that it has endured long exposure to the elements. It is beyond repair. Inside the camera was a minute cassette tape I discovered after forcing the tape deck open. The tape was full. After examining the rest of the camcorder and filing it in the evidence locker, item number 1659A, I returned to the minute tape. The Eli Police Department does not possess the technology to review minute tapes, so to aid the case I took the tape home to review on my own camcorder. The contents of the tape are given below. December 17, 2002. 1724 hours. The tape begins with a shot of a "Welcome to Duluth" sign. The individual behind the camcorder narrates, "There we are. Just got dropped off in lovely Duluth. The time is now." His watch comes into view, about 5:30. "By this time tomorrow I should be back in Ontario. Time to get some food and, see if I can get another right-end shot." December 17, 2002. 1750 hours. The individual is in a diner. There is a large plate of scrambled eggs and hash browns in front of the individual. He seems to be recovering from a fit of laughter. "Have you ever seen this laughter? Took of these eggs." He picks up a fork and stabs a bit of egg, holding it up to the camera. The egg is glistening in the fluorescent light, pale and covered in a buttery oil. He continues to laugh. "I can't believe I'm eating this. When I get home I want a steak. A steak, do you hear me?" It is unclear who the individual is addressing here, as they are never mentioned by name. The camera turns out the window to see the sun setting to the west. Damn. Gotta go. End shot. December 17, 2002. 1938 hours. The camera focuses on a road sign that says US 53. The cameraman sounds angry. "Not a goddamn one. I've been walking for 15 miles, not one person stops." He turns the camera to face the oncoming traffic and begins to yell, "Assholes. It's fucking cold out here." His arm stretches into view as he raises his middle finger. 2 cars pass. "I gotta put this away. Can't even feel my hands." End shot. December 17, 2002. 2024 hours. The camera is still trained on the freeway. It bobs up and down as the cameraman walks. He is silent. December 17, 2002. 2031 hours. A semi slows down and approaches the shoulder. The cameraman's demeanor changes. "Seriously? Yes. Finally. God, I've been freezing out here." It is too dark to read the license plate as the semi approaches. The cameraman hurriedly shoves the camera into his duffel. He neglects to turn it off. The truck driver says he can only take the cameraman as far as Eagles Nest Township. Names are never exchanged. December 17, 2002. 2033 hours to 2217 hours. The two talk. The voice identified as the cameraman's discusses his recent graduation from the University of Denver and his plans to travel the country until he decides to settle down. The semi-driver says little, mostly listening to the cameraman talk. When he does talk, the driver has a raspy voice and there is a consistent sound of coughing followed by the opening of a window and spitting. December 17, 2002. 2224 hours. The driver informs the cameraman that they've arrived at Eagle's Nest. The cameraman expresses a grateful thank you. There is some shuffling and a door slamming as the cameraman gets out of the truck. Under his breath, he says guy was weird. Pulling out a flashlight, he begins to walk. A road sign shows he is traveling east on MN 169. December 17, 2002. 2258 hours. The cameraman passes Robinson Lake, talking to nobody in particular. Still pretty damn cold out. I see some lights up ahead. Must be that town the driver was talking about. The camera faces Eli. Hopefully I can get another ride before then. December 17, 2002. 2301 hours. In reviewing the tape, something here catches my eye. As the cameraman walks past a lake, something moves in the extreme right of the frame. It is impossible to say what, as the camera records very poorly at night, catching only what is illuminated by the flashlight. There is nothing to suggest a cameraman sees whatever is in the tree line. For lack of better description, the darkness of the tree line seems almost to shake or turn and fade back into the forest like a moving shadow. December 17, 2002. 2336 hours. The cameraman sings softly to fill the silence of the road. Approximately 1 mile east of Wolf Lake, there is a soft whining out of the shot. The cameraman turns with a start, shining his flashlight. He sees a dog, injured and limping badly. The dog seems domesticated, and as the cameraman slowly approaches, light glints from its collar. The dog's left hind leg is broken. The cameraman takes on a gentle demeanor. "Hey boy, are you hurt? Come here, come here." He walks toward the dog. The dog gets up and cowers, trying to keep distance between the cameraman and itself. As the cameraman gets closer, the dog turns and begins to limp into the forest. "Hey, where are you going? I'm not gonna hurt your." Flashlight in hand, the cameraman enters the woods. December 17, 2002. 2340 hours. The dog remains in full sight of the camera, limping away at a slow pace. The cameraman attempts to get closer. "Come on, you're only going to hurt that leg more. Come here and I'll take you to town. They gotta have a vet." Suddenly the dog's ears perk. It looks upward, head jerking from one area of the night sky to another. It emits a low, feeble whine. "What's wrong, boy?" The cameraman turns his camera skyward, seeing only the moon and some low clouds. There is rustling, and as the camera comes back down, the dog is seen running from the camera, as though its leg were perfectly healthy. It disappears from the camera's field of vision. Wait. The cameraman begins running after the dog. December 17, 2002. 2348 hours. After a moment, the cameraman hears a howl of pain straight ahead of him. Running even faster, he enters a small clearing, a pond northwest of Mitchell Lake, and sees the dog's crumpled body. He approaches slowly, shining the light on the dog. Bending down, the cameraman checks for a pulse. Dead. He gets to his feet, stepping back from the carcass. His camera and flashlight sweep the clearing and nearby woods. He sees nothing. Turning back to the dog, he mutters quietly. "What the hell?" Suddenly the ground drops out from under the cameraman. The camera whirls around viciously. The tree line begins to fall away, and then the camera briefly stops rising. It has been either dropped or released, and for a brief moment catches the cone of light on the ground some 50 feet below, still glowing on the body of the dog. Then it falls to earth, hitting the snow with a thump. It is turned toward the sky. The cameraman is barely visible, arms flailing as he rises higher and higher. Long after his body disappears, the camera still hears him screaming. December 17, 2002. 2353 hours to December 18, 2002. 024 hours. The camera gazes upward. The moon slowly arcs across the sky. At 024 hours, the tape runs out. After talking with the Ontario Provincial Police, there is no missing persons report filed on or around December 18, 2002. After visiting the site, there is no evidence of anything shown on the tape, though considering more than a month has passed, this is not unusual. There are currently no theories regarding what occurred on December 17, 2002. 1351 hours. There is no bird native to Minnesota strong enough to lift a full-grown man, and there is no sound on the tape to suggest flapping wings. The only noise is wind whipping past the camera's microphone and the cameraman screaming. Ultimately, this case defies explanation. It is my opinion that this tape be shown to state or federal authorities in hope that they may understand what happened the night of the 17th, or at least have access to someone who might. Until that time, this case must be considered closed pending further investigation. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe.